Mercedes, guys, this is a team. I mean, sometimes they just they had a good weekend. They were quickest. Like it's crazy. Like they come guns blazing. The thing is, I didn't get too excited because first of all, this team doesn't even understand why it's fast. They have a fast car, but I know, ask them. Even like I think after the race, they're like, you have to go and analyze the data and see why you are fast. Like this is a crazy time.
Through goes Hamilton! You can hear the cheers from Monza!
The mics are on and off we go. Hi guys, my name is Winnie and welcome to the Worldspin Podcast, the home of Milan content and everything motorsport. I know it's been a minute and I don't even know why, but just like Mercedes, we are back with another episode. Welcome to our Las Vegas Grand Prix race debrief. Oh my god, there's so much, guys. There's so much to talk about. But first, let's kick off with the most important thing. Congratulations to Max Verstappen on a fourth world championship for the three, depending on who you ask. But like, yeah, congratulations to Max Verstappen. He has put up an amazing campaign in this 2024 season. You know, I think of course he's had brilliant races, even like one race coming very fast into my mind was Brazil just the other weekend. Brazil drove a brilliant race from I think P17 to P1. Like that was beautiful to watch. I mean, of course it's not had like a straightforward season. I mean, their car failed. I mean, their car seemed to lose the advantage that they had very early on into the season. Like, okay, not very early on, really, because I mean, he won like 7 out of 10 of the first 10 races of this 2024 calendar. But we have to just give him credit for, you know, where credit is due, because even when Max did not have the fastest car, he limited damage. He still scored on weekends that he was not meant to score because their car was low, their car was not working right, it was not suited to the track. I think we need to give him credit for that. But this is the year as well that, you know, pressure, we seem to see him crack under pressure. We've seen some dangerous, awful driving for him. Like, as in, I think we can go back to Mexico. I remember that where he was really like, he seemed so intent on taking Lando Norris out. Like that was also crazy racing. Austria as well. And then Mexico, he received some, you know, I think was it like he got at least penalties for the first time in a while. So I think he's had like a whole basket full of of things into this season. So I think for him to, I think he was the most deserving driver to win this world championship. Like, I don't think there was anyone who was giving him a run for his money. Maybe Lando, but I don't think Lando was in the greatest form this year. Because remember, guys, this is the first time he's having like a almost well-rounded car to fight for a championship. So maybe Lando can try again next year. I mean, yeah, I would have really loved for this to go to Abu Dhabi, but I don't think it was going to go to Abu Dhabi because Lando needed to outscore Max Verstappen by 3 points from this Las Vegas weekend to keep the title fight on. But I don't think that, of course, that didn't happen. So maybe next year Max is still the guy to chase down, because one thing about him also, you can bet against Max Verstappen, no matter the type of car they have. Yeah, so as long as they're not like way too fast from the first few races next year, then we might actually have like an interesting title fight coming our way. So congratulations to Max Verstappen. Very well, guys. This is Las Vegas. I really do kind of love this track. I know it's shaped like a pig somehow, like an inverted pig. It's a crazy like layout when you think about it, but it's like this is one of the Grand Prix like I would like to go to. You know, it looks very electric. It's just, I mean, apart from just the weird hours, like guys, what time? Just tell me in the comments, like what time were you guys waking up to watch the sessions? Because I remember for some of the practice sessions, it was like 5:30, and I'm just like, you know, that meme of that guy getting out of bed, like it's crazy. Yeah. But I love this track because, again, I think the fact that it's also relatively new. Like, remember, this is the second time we're running on this new track layout across the Las Vegas Strip. This is a palace. So it's very exciting. And, you know, like, no one has really gathered a lot of data about this track to effectively know that this team will be strong in this track. But the Las Vegas a lot of long straights, so that we know if your car is good, you have great long straights, long. You have good straight line speed, then you're well suited to the track. So yeah, those are among the reasons why I also like it. Like the whole the whole limbo kind of effect where no one knows really. Like it's just new learning. No, and the temperature issue, like it gets so cold. I think it's the coldest Grand Prix as well, like because the temperatures can go well into like 4, 6, like 4 degrees is a temperature I think of most refrigerators. Like that's crazy when you think about it. So tire warm up becomes an issue, tire degradation becomes an issue because if the car is not really, if you're not warming up your tire nicely, that means it won't even bite into the track very well, and that means if it's not, you don't have good grip, you can wear your tires very quickly, you start to grain the tires, so you have to change them as frequently. So there's just all those many factors to play in. Apart from like the Max Verstappen, I'm thinking we handle this debrief talking about like the biggest takeaways from this Grand Prix. Let's talk Mercedes next. Mercedes, guys, this is a team. I mean, sometimes they just they had a good weekend. They were quickest. They came into Thursday. Practice was Thursday in Las Vegas. Practice day, they are fast. Lewis Hamilton is P1, in FP1, P1 in FP2, and George Russell tops FP3. Like it's crazy. Like they come guns blazing. The thing is, I didn't get too excited because first of all, this team doesn't even understand why it's fast. They have a fast car, but I know, ask them. Even like I think after the race, they're like, we have to go and analyze the data and see why we were fast. Like these are crazy times, man. But anyway, like excellent weekend for Mercedes. This Las Vegas Grand Prix weekend. P1 for George Russell after qualifying, putting it on pole. He had a very comfortable lead in the Grand Prix. Like I think he drove. It was such a dominant drive, to be honest. Lewis Hamilton was fast. I think for once he seemed to have like a good machinery underneath him. He's qualifying. He qualified P10. I think after making two mistakes on his both runs in Q3. That's the last session of qualifying. But I will say this: I do not think, guys, that there's a driver who's beyond criticism. So I think it's rightfully so that personally, as a Lewis Hamilton fan and someone who's been watching him across the weekend, I was disappointed by his qualifying, and I'm so sure he was disappointed as well. But the problem comes in where like it becomes almost like a microaggression the way we criticize Lewis Hamilton. Like there's a tone that people take that's not really nice, that we're like, okay, okay, just get out, time out, get out, because it becomes borderline like toxic, insultive almost. Because it's okay if he has a bad qualifying, we'll say, man, like I mean maybe he needed to check those mistakes. Like I don't think it made him less of a driver, but it made his work harder for Sunday. And that's the thing we've been talking about. I think Lewis for I think for a couple I think a couple of episodes ago. That's one thing I brought out and said, I think Lewis needs to stop making his work so hard, especially when they have like good machinery and you qualify so lowly, and then now you have to work your way up, driving, overtaking. I do love a charging Lewis Hamilton. I love an attacking Lewis Hamilton because you're just going to be treated to greatness. The overtakes, the moves, man, the will to will racing. It's there. It's brilliant. It's beautiful to watch. Either way, I do not want to be subjected to that all the time because it's so much anxiety inducing. So Lewis Hamilton drove brilliantly, P10 to P2, just finishing, like, I think, was it like 5 seconds behind? Yes, just like around 7 seconds behind George Russell. There's someone who put out I think this comment. He said, put George Russell on pole, put Lewis in P20, they will finish together. And this is another weekend proving that. Like, isn't it crazy? Like, when you think about it, like 7 seconds, I'm so sure. And Lewis, I think he had like traffic issues. I'm so sure he could have given us a run for like, for the win. And I feel like if he had qualified as highly up, I think he was capable of getting pole there on Saturday. He was capable of getting pole. He could have won this race, and I'm so sure this would have been like different since I would have been a different person. But like I won't take away from George Russell's very dominant weekend. So props to them. Even though this is a team that they still don't know why they're first. But it's so crazy this season. I don't know who has really clearly understood this set of regulations. You know, guys, we started on these regulations in 2022. It's been 2022, 2023, and now we're coming towards the end of the 2024 season. It's crazy because these regulations are ending next year. Well, no one seems to really have hacked. I mean, Red Bull seemed to have like a hold of it, and then they lost it midway through the season, and then we're like, they also don't understand what has happened to their cars. Well, like it's crazy because even this late into the season, we're having like so many team, even the big teams, Mercedes, Ferrari, everyone is bringing, even Red Bull, everyone is still bringing upgrades this, and McLaren as well. Everyone is bringing upgrades this late into the season. This shows you like how much I think teams are still experimenting, they're still learning, they're still trying to understand the cars. So I don't know who has really hacked this era of regulations like completely. Maybe probably next year the grid will be a bit closer. I don't know, because clearly we really don't know what's happening. And the other thing is also how crazy qualifying the top three different constructors this deep into the season. Like it's crazy. This is, you know, most of the time when you come this late into the season, there's already an identified team with well over an advantage and they are good everywhere. So to have like a top three like we had this weekend with George Russell, Carlos Sainz, and the Alpine of Gasly, I think they were having a good weekend up to qualifying. You know, seeing as Alpine got P2, P3 at the Brazil Grand Prix. Like, and I know I cannot believe we missed that debrief. Like, there was so much to talk about, and it's one of my favorite tracks as well. And it's actually behind my phone. A friend got me this as well. Like, it's literally the Interlagos circuit. It's my favorite. Yeah, but yeah, that's what I'm talking about, how bizarre, the bizarreness of this whole season and this whole set of regulations. You get me, guys. I hope you do flow with me. Let's talk about Red Bull as well. I did not finish it. Red Bull, like I said, this weekend on Friday, during the practice sessions, they seem to have brought a very big rear end. Basically, what that means is that the bigger the wing, so the more the draggy the car becomes. That means you lose straight line speed. So it was being reported actually, like at some point during those the practice sessions, the Red Bull car was like 0.6 seconds, and we know how much that time means. That's a lot of time in Formula One. That the Red Bull car was losing 0.6 seconds on the long straights that feature on the Las Vegas track. Like that's crazy. So apparently they were doing some DIY, like trimming down on the rear wing to reduce it so that they can, that the bigger the rear wing, I think it just gives you advantages with when you're cornering. But then when a track like this one, there's not so many, I think, fast, high speed corners. It's mostly like maybe longer straights which give you the advantage and you can overtake. But then if you're that slow, then you're losing so much to your competitors. So anyway, like that's what I'm saying. Even when Red Bull are poised not to be fast, I mean, I feel like they had like a quick turnaround. I think they sorted their own issues and they came back, and Max Verstappen at least was decent. He finished P5, was it? He finished P5, yes, P5, and Perez drove a good recovery drive after being knocked out of Q1, and he finished, I think, was it P8? P10 actually, yeah, just P10, just 1 point for Red Bull. Yeah, and guys, can we just talk about Perez? And I don't know, like it's very surprising when I talk to people, when like the different people have conversations about Perez. Everyone keeps on saying, it's Red Bull. No one listens to Checo Perez. But guys, they've had like when the car is really good. Remember during the start of the season, so like when you go to the first early on, the Bahrain, the Saudi Arabias of the season, Perez was really performing well. So I'm wondering what happens, like when he's performing, Max Verstappen is also performing. So like, where's the disconnect? What happens when you guys now, where does the whole story of this car is not suited for Perez come in? I just feel like these are just excuses, to be honest, because even when the car is not, we clearly can see Max is really struggling with the car, handling the car. Perez is really struggling with handling the car. Like, there's no advantage on this track, like on specific tracks. Yet we'll see Max come in, try to adapt to whatever machinery he has, and he will somehow deliver. I mean, he might not win, he might not be on the podium, but he might be on the podium, let's be honest. Like, but he will score. Like the damage limitation, his damage limitation is always like very good. He's not lost out so many points this season compared to Checo Perez. That is why I really do not get that whole like drama, like that whole rhetoric, like that whole maybe statement of saying they don't give maybe Checo the best car or something. Because remember, when they started the season, they were doing so well together. Like if Max is finishing P1, sometimes they turn it's P1. I don't even think Checo has won any race this season, to be honest. So he hasn't. So and I don't think he's winning any race this season. P1, P2, they are right there. So tell me then, are they like, when do they decide like, no, we need to mess this guy? Like, are there sabotage things going on in Red Bull? I don't think so. Like, I do not think so. Mercedes, another story. But Red Bull, no. That is why I am now making a case. I have analyzed like Yuki Tsunoda's performance across. Remember, guys, Yuki came into F1 in 2021, racing for AlphaTauri, which was still like the junior team for Red Bull. 2021, he was an impressive rookie, to be honest. I remember like one of his, I think his best finish so far in his career was finishing P4 at the Abu Dhabi race. Like he even scored points in his debut race in 2021. Impressive rookie. We come to this season. Let's just even talk. Like I know maybe we're saying, okay, no, that's the past. No, yeah, let's talk about this season. Yuki has been quite impressive. Like he's qualifying. I mean, Brazil, he qualified P3. I don't know. I kind of forgot where he finished, but like, let me just, that's something we can always just check where he finished. I'm so sure he finished well into the points as well. Like, yeah, he finished P7. He finished P7 in that race. He scored points yet again here at Las Vegas. He was running quite very high up, but then I think towards the end of the race, he lost a bit of performance and he was overtaken by, I think, was it Nico Hulkenberg? But he still finished in the points here. I think, was it P9? Yeah, P9 for Yuki Tsunoda. And Yuki made it into Q3 as well. I do not know, like, what do you guys want with Yuki? I really do not get why we're not promoting him. And even though we're not saying you're taking Yuki to Red Bull to go and challenge Max Verstappen for a championship, that's not going to. I don't think that's going to happen because I don't think they're both at the same levels, to be honest. But all I'm saying is that he can. I do not understand the hesitance, like why. Yuki is marketable. Trust me, guys. Yuki will. I know. I have spoken to so many other people. Like if it's marketability, trust me. When I do feel like I have the money to just splurge on like F1 match, I will. If it's going to keep Yuki in, if it's going to give Yuki a chance at Red Bull, then I'm gonna do it. Like I'm just gonna buy it. I might just sleep hungry for a couple of days, but Yuki has a drive at Red Bull. The thing is, the other big thing is that, like, we know he's not going to challenge Max Verstappen, like, oh my, but also, like, I cannot count Yuki out. The thing is, Red Bull have lost out this championship, the Constructors' Championship, because they've only had for the better part of the season, they've only had one scoring driver. Like Checo is not really holding up the other end. The other interesting thing about Formula One is that it's a team sport. So that means it's everyone who has to pull from every angle because the constructors, the points come from the drivers. Like basically the points that your driver gets, the team gets. So if you're not getting points from the other driver, why not try with Yuki? Has been giving his team points like on most weekends, on where they look like they have a good car underneath them. That's my case for Yuki. I feel like if Red Bull wants, and right now we're in that era of Formula One where I think the grid is like, we're not even having so many DNFs anymore. Like that, no one is crashing out as much, and if it's crashing out, it's really not like a skill issue. It's more of like maybe condition, something happened. Like it's getting that crazy. The grid is that good. So that means even next year, the same way right now, the Constructors' Championship is going to be decided, I think, all the way to Abu Dhabi. We have like McLaren, we have Ferrari, we also have Red Bull in the mix somehow, but then Red Bull can't come into the mix because, one of their drivers is not really delivering the results they would like. So it's crazy. So I think Red Bull probably they need to make decisions. I don't know. Like I think they need to also make a decision because the constructors is very important for the teams because they also get paid for it. The higher up you place, the more money you get. So if I were Red Bull, I would be thinking about Yuki Tsunoda. I don't know what else you want. I want Yuki. Give him a chance. Like, I'd rather you give him a chance. He can do it. It's come on. Like, yes, I'm done on that. I think I'm going on that tangent so much. The other biggest takeaway from this weekend is, and then the biggest, I think, talking point is Ferrari. So Ferrari finished P3 with Carlos and P4 with Charles Leclerc. But I think the biggest the biggest the biggest headline right now is how pissed Charles Leclerc was after the race. Even mid the race, he was really just cussing everybody out. I don't even know how much like community service and like how many fines is going to pay to the FIA. Like, crazy, right? Like, if you want to see those clips, you can just check out our Twitter. We've like reposted and like posted some of those videos or at the Wheelspin podcast, or you can also check out our Instagram as well. So I think Leclerc was well fighting for the lead at some point, but Ferrari didn't have a very good opening stint. Their car seemed not to like the mediums as well. So after I think a while, Charles Leclerc had cooked his tires and he was overtaken again by he was running P4 after running P2 for a while fighting George Russell for the lead, and that included being overtaken by Carlos. So I think after some point, of course, they just lap 9 they pitted Charles Leclerc, and then like a lap later they pitted Carlos Sainz. So after that first round of the pit stops, Sainz was well ahead of Charles Leclerc, but then now Sainz did not seem to catch like Verstappen, who was ahead of him. So like Sainz didn't look like he had the pace to catch Verstappen. So what did the team decide to do? Like around lap 25, clearly everyone could like the data is reading Charles Leclerc is faster. So they're like, okay, maybe we need to swap positions, which they do, which was like so crazy. Like it's so crazy because how they swapped positions. Sainz could have also lost to a very charging Lewis Hamilton, who was right behind Charles Leclerc. Like, that was crazy, but I felt like that was very well handled by Carlos. So, and then Carlos was already calling just the lap before. He was asking, please just box me. These tires are going off. That's why even I think he was missing out on the pace. So he's like, please box me. He's so desperate, like, please bring me in. So I think they agree. And then when he comes in, I think they all both came to the pits, like after Leclerc like got past, they swapped position. And even Carlos Sainz is coming to the pits with Lewis behind him. They're going to the pits. All of a sudden, like Carlos Sainz cuts from the pit lane and just goes back to the racing line. I don't even know how he didn't get like investigated for that, by the way. So apparently the team, the pit crew were not ready for Carlos. They're like, we're not ready. And Carlos was like, guys, come on, get up, like wake up. But anyway, I think the team was so busy orchestrating that whole swapping situation, like swapping the car situation. But again, like I feel like they cost him a bit of time there. The other lap, they were ready for him, they did, but he also, like, he already had lost a position to Lewis Hamilton, and he also lost, like, some time to Lewis because Lewis was well ahead of him. So, and also, like, Charles Leclerc as well. So, anyway, like, I don't think it was a very good day for Ferrari in terms of operational procedures. Like, first of all, telling a driver to come in and then be like, stay out, we're not ready. Like, come on, you're losing, you're making them lose time as well. So, and then now this other second series of pit stops, Carlos comes in early. He pits early to remove I think the older tires he had. Now he pits for new tires. He pitted on lap 28. And then Leclerc pits on lap 31. Like, that's after making him after telling him they're not ready, then they call him again. Now the next lap they're ready. So he pits, comes out. They decide with Leclerc, let Leclerc go a bit longer. So he goes like a further 5 laps. So he pits on lap 31. So apparently they're ready. They're telling him, oh, we've told Sainz not to keep you under pressure and everything. But literally it was so close when Charles Leclerc was exiting the pit lane. Carlos was coming, and also he has momentum. Another crazy thing is that the tire warm up here, remember we're saying the temperatures are really low. So for you to get your tires into good temperature, I think it takes a while. So Carlos overtook Charles Leclerc, and Charles Leclerc was like, "Oh my God!" Like, I think it was also giving like a microaggression, and I don't know, like this is borderline like insultive. It feels like some sort of discrimination, because he came back into the radio after. No, I think his engineer, Charles Leclerc's engineer, told him like so we've told Carlos not to keep you under pressure, or not to, essentially not to overtake. But then anyway, I think the momentum was too much. Like Carlos Sainz's tires were like optimally, like on an optimum, like ideal temperature as well, as opposed to like Charles Leclerc's tires. I mean, he hadn't warmed them up and he was just coming straight from the pits. So he was like, maybe you try speaking to him in Spanish. Like, come on. Like, that was feeling very micro aggressive. It felt very like some sort. It can come out some sort of way. So I think that was the start of their whole beef, because after that, he did not catch Carlos. Carlos overtook and he went on and finished P3 with Charles Leclerc before, because they didn't swap position. There was not even opportunity to swap position. So maybe I'm just thinking Charles Leclerc is just supposed to didn't finish in the podium, and I just need him to chill a bit. Like, I don't know. Like, come on, it's racing, man. And also remember, Carlos, this is the last, I think it's among the last races where he's having like a car that can compete for podiums. I would also take it. Like, I don't know, it's racing, man. As you said, you're being nice, Charles Leclerc. Like, come on, it's racing. It's a racing. Like, what do you want? We don't all want to sit back and be like, let's have a situation where we're just playing team games. No. And even it's Ferrari, they always let their drivers race anyway. So yeah, I think that's the biggest. I think that's a whole like debacle going on at Ferrari, and I think it's just. I think it's just a stretch. Like, I just need Charles Leclerc to relax and race, man. Let's talk about the other. I think the other people, someone else that impressed me. No, what's that? Anyone else who impressed me really? It was a bad day for Pierre Gasly. Pierre Gasly, oh my God, after qualifying so highly, he just retired because of a power unit issue. And then Alpine again, Ferrari were not the only ones with the pit lane drama. Ocon drove into the pits. The engineers were not ready. The pit crew was not ready. So he had to drive out and come out again. He lost position. He lost so much time. So that means he was not even going to get a chance to compete for positions, essentially. So not a very good weekend for Alpine. And then again, Gasly, there's an interesting, I think, stat. He's the one driver who's not cost his team even a dime in repair costs. So I don't know. That's impressive, but that's really impressive, especially in these eras of the cost cap and the budgets and everything. So let's talk about what other team? RB, I've already talked about Yuki, very good, well into the points. Lawson gave us a bit of racing. I don't think he finished in the points as well. Perez, I think this is also Perez's. I think Perez gave us a very good overtake. Like, oh my God, there's that corner, he took the two cars, like he overtook Lawson and Kevin Magnussen, chef's kiss. Like, if you've not, I think you can just check it out. It's on, like, I think F1 official F1 pages, you'll find it. I will try to repost it on our pages as well. Like, it's a chef's kiss of an overtake, and it's crazy because even last year's like Las Vegas overtake, Charles Leclerc overtaking Perez for, I think, was like one of the podium places. Like, that was the overtake of the year from last year, and it was Vegas. And I have a feeling the overtake by Checo Perez will again be the overtake of the year, of the season, from Las Vegas, because it's just amazing. It's crazy how he did that as well. Williams, I mean, Colapinto had like a up to 50G crash. That's crazy because, guys, it's like, that's a massive crash. Anyway, the team was able to repair. You cannot even compare like the crashes, like the repair costs of Williams versus Alpine. It's crazy. Like, yeah, Williams are not having a blast with when it comes to repair costs. I don't even know how they're handling it. But anyways, Colapinto had a very nasty crash, but he was okay. He had a pit lane start. I don't think he was going to like have an opportunity to score points. Albon retired. It's been crazy, but that's another thing. We'll be talking about Williams in another series I'm gonna tell you before the end of this the end of this episode. McLaren, I just feel like they had just an okay week. I don't even know what they were. Like, I don't even know where they were. Like, I think I just felt like they were there. I don't think they were poised to be fast this weekend, and they seemed very reserved for that. I think penalty for Piastri for a false start. He was not well into his grid slot at the starting of the race. So he finished P7, Lando P5, P6, like nothing really impressive. You get like they were just there. So and then there's I want to talk about Haas. Haas, it was their home race. I want to talk about that specific thing that Haas did during qualifying. They timed their, when you want to go outside, when outside like by you go out on the track when the track is optimum, when the grip is there. They timed their Q1 outings very well. They were perfectly executed. But then now I think in Q2, Kevin Magnussen was not able to run because of Colapinto's crash there. But also, isn't it crazy? I also wanted to just make a reference to it. Like, isn't it crazy how, like, the news cycle, the grind in Formula One is so harsh and so fast, and it can grind you so hard, both in a positive way and a negative way. Like, a couple of weekends ago, we were all impressed by Colapinto. I'm still impressed by Colapinto. And then now he has one crash, and then you're like, oh my God, did he graduate too quickly? Is he ready for Formula One? Oh my God, it's like 1 second you're a star, the next one you're not yoked enough. Like, we should not use F1 as a training ground. Like, spare the lads some slack. This was their first time driving in Vegas. The car seemed so slide. It's like an ice rink. Like, it's icy. It's no grip at all. So, but it's crazy. I still feel like he needs a seat in Formula One. But as I so much other Colapinto drama that I really don't want to bring up on this podcast, to be honest. Yeah, I think that is it, guys. Like, I hope I've talked about all the other teams as well. I hope I'm not missing anything, and if I'm missing anything, I had asked people to tell me their biggest takeaway from this weekend. I'd asked you to just and I don't know, like, I think I'll just address this one's. I want to quickly just. I think there will be a screenshot of all the comments of everyone from who contributed. So someone says, so happy because of Mercedes to be processed LH. Yeah, Lewis Hamilton had a splendid race. George is championship material in a strong car. I won't argue with that. Checo, please leave my team. Correct. Simply lovely. Yeah, has been brilliant this season. Mercedes 1-2, I used to pray for times like this. Ha 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 ha. They also don't even know why they are fast. So, Godspeed. LH44 is still the GOAT. He's always been the GOAT. That is why he's the GOAT. He's always the GOAT. Masterclass performance by Mercedes. Absolutely. LH is the greatest of all time against all the sabotage he's getting. Yes. Preaching to the choir. Toto Wolff is the smallest man who ever lived. Agreed. This has been saying off the topic things. Do you still hate Red Bull? Guys, I've never hated Red Bull. I really just try to analyze everyone and not be as biased as I can. If anything, I have a Red Bull car here. What do you mean I hate Red Bull? I might not agree with their politics, how they run their things, but like, hate is a strong word. Like, I really don't care that much to hate. So, yeah. So, guys, we're going to be doing a new series. So, please keep up with our socials as well. There will be a YouTube episode for that later on. So, we're starting a new series called The Stories that made the 2024 season. So keep your eyes peeled for that, and thank you for keeping me company. I want to hear from you guys. What was your biggest takeaway from this race? Like, and what do we think about Max Verstappen winning his fourth championship? I want to hear all your thoughts about it in the comments. Thank you so much for keeping me company. Have a lovely start of the week and happy race weekend. It's Qatar race weekend. And I'll see you. Remember to follow us on our Instagram at the Will Spin Podcast, on our TikTok at the Will Spin Podcast, on X at the Will Spin Podcast. And don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel and rate us wherever you're listening to this podcast from. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in a week's time. Bye.